What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what really moved it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi went down 3.05% alongside many other growth stocks, and a couple different attributing factors to that. One is just simply the technicals, as I've mentioned. Technicals look absolutely amazing, so above the ALMA, above all the key data points and moving averages that I like to look at. The only negative is it is rather overbought, but pretty much as is 90% of the broader market. So this is why you kind of had some volatility today, and the volatility did stem from good data. So it's back to being inverse for the most part. So the manufacturing came in at 48.4, forecast is 47.7. So it's back to that inverse kind of scenario, because with good data, and especially heading towards more of an expansionary stage in the market, you don't really need rate cuts, and so ultimately the likelihood of that occurring for the December 18th meeting did diminish because of this very good data. So ultimately, growth stocks, which were kind of maybe pricing in a 25 basis point cut, started to have some volatility. Nothing really new associated to SoFi today, no SEC filings, nothing like that. And as far as shorts did return 811,000 shares. So this is why I like to analyze this type of information, because if shorts really felt today's red day was justified, they could easily double down, but they didn't. So they returned 811,000 shares. 13.35% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 142.17 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost bar minimum is back to normal, so it is in the positive, so always a good thing for that. Cost to borrow average is 0.52. So in regards to shorts, I still do feel that they, regardless of what happens within the broader market, shorts will continue to return shares, probably up until that 11% range. But today there was 40 million in calls, 7.86 million in puts. So still a lot of money getting into SoFi through both options and also common stock. 44% of all the options being done today were bearish though, but this kind of data says somewhat otherwise. So basically, of the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be above $20. So the optimism is still very much there on the table. The bears, though, on the flip side, are anticipating for it to be sub, oddly enough, 1450. There's a lot of big data points coming out over the next several trading days that could cause a hell of a lot of volatility. So people are betting that there's going to be a significant pullback. And one thing to note, there was a abnormal amount, which this is probably what is attributing to that very bearish overall sentiment today, because there was 14,000 purchased at that $14 strike price for December 13th. So people are clearly betting that SoFi is going to not only pull back, but kind of break below that $14 range. So especially when it comes down to some of the fib levels, that definitely something to take note of. But today there was a lot of transactions on the secondary market as per normal, just a little bit more selling, and I think that could be obviously anticipated ultimately, but generally still did have a lot of good buys. So first thing, 8.71 million, and then aside from that, a couple other big ones right here. A lot of big transactions as normal after hour, so 18.4, 1.08, 1.9, and all the other fun jazz. But as far as right now, some points to really watch for with it at $15.91. It is trading between this pivot and this S1, so 15.56 is going to be that next strong support. Wasn't touched today, didn't even come close, but still with Jolt data coming out tomorrow, that's going to be one point to really watch for. Flip side, 16.08 and then 16.61 are going to be the next strong kind of targets. And essentially, like I said, one of the attributing causes why it did go down was because of the technicals. It bounced off of this R1. So that was the high for today. Obviously, 52-week high and all the other fun jazz. So I still am relatively bullish on SoFi, but it's not exempt, even though a lot of people think it's going to go to $20 like in 1 week. That's not realistic, especially if there is some negative fear in the broader market, especially Jolt data and jobs data and many other things. That's going to cause some volatility, and if a stock and just broader market is overbought, you're going to have these pullbacks. So I think it's relatively good, bigger picture. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, I did launch a Patreon, so I'm giving buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. A lot of them have been absolute bangers, so pop over there, link in the description below and also the comments to take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.